there was a huge argument specifically with my father, who literally was like bagging things up in trash bags and was like fully against it. Literally, cops were called with that situation.
Hello again, guys. Welcome to episode 10 of Boys with Dolls. Now, I can't believe we've already got to episode 10. Now, this will be the sort of finale of the season 1. But don't worry, we are coming back at you with a series 2. So anyway, let's get this interview on the road. This is Anthony, and here is his interview.
Hi, my name is Anthony, and I am from Los Angeles, California, here in the USA.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hang on 2 seconds. My dog has decided. Oh, she's in. She decided to join us. Hello.
I've been
Right.
talking that with my cat. I've seen if you want to be in the room or not, but he's going to be outside.
I know. They decide, don't they, last minute. It's like, yeah, I want to annoy when it's not right, the right time. Right, Anthony. So we're going to start off with our first question, okay? So the first question is, when did you know you wanted to start collecting dolls?
I knew ever since I was a child, basically like preschool, even like 3 or 4 years old, I've been in love with dolls. Been playing with it through like my relatives, if not like friends from school. But in terms of collecting, I started doing it after I graduated high school and moved out of my parents' house and got my own job. Literally, my first check from my job, I bought a whole set of dolls just so I could have, just to fulfill my enjoyment from them.
No, and I totally understand. Again, same with a couple of others I've interviewed, collecting dolls from a young age, like even to the point where you can't really remember loving dolls. Is that right? You know, it's just sort of, you know, you sort of just was born that way. That's how I feel.
No, honestly, I've been playing with them, Barbies and Bratz. Been playing them mainly through my cousin that lives in the same building as I did. And so I've mainly been growing up through that, and as well with like friends that I've met from school, from elementary school.
Awesome.
But in terms of collecting, obviously it has to start when I'm an adult.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. So this is another really good question for you. So it's pretty good that you did start off collecting from such a young age. So do you remember the first ever doll you ever had?
My first doll, well, I would have to really go back to it because I'm gonna get into it obviously a little later in this interview. When I actually got my first doll at age maybe 4 or 5, it was a Ken doll. It was a prince. I think he was like part of the Pink Rose collection. I would need to send an image of him. Unfortunately, I don't have him with me. I literally went through my storage unit the last hour before it closed yesterday.
Right.
So that was the first one that I've ever received from my parents. Just because they knew always that I always wanted a Barbie, but they didn't want to give me one. So instead, Ken was a solution for it since it was a man.
Okay.
Literally just been dressing him up through Ken clothes, if not like G.I. Joe figure dolls. That was another solution that they came up with. That they had. But in terms of, I guess, a traditional like doll, when I was 18, starting my actual collection of dolls, I did collect, I believe 2013, 2014, which was the Barbie Life in the Dream House.
Oh, okay.
Series dolls.
Yeah, I remember those.
Right. All from the YouTube series. I think they're all on Netflix right now. Mainly pretty much all the dolls from that line I did collect except for 2, so hard to carry.
And that's your first kind of line as well?
My first ever series. I remember going to a Walmart that was literally down the street from where I moved out from my parents.
Right.
Seeing them on the shelf, like I never heard of them. I knew I wanted a Barbie, like a doll, and I just saw their face expressions. And I'm like, I just have to have them. Like I literally was hunting to collect all
Yeah.
of them. And so
I quite liked those ones because of the fact of their facial expressions, and they were a little bit more animated than a regular Barbie, wasn't they? I felt that.
no, 100%,
Yeah.
especially comparing them to the cartoon. Like it's very strange and beautiful that Mattel got it right from this series.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
ever since then, I just hold them with me throughout.
Yeah, no, I can see why. I can see why they are very animated, and I did like. Is it what's the villain called? The
Oh, Raquel.
Raquel. That's it. I thought that was her name.
There she
Raquel.
is. I have to
She
dress
was
her
my
up.
fave from that series. I always like the antagonist one. So,
They're so
there's
more
another. What was
beautiful.
that?
They're more creative, more like interesting,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. I love that. Also, another thing that was really another thing that you said that was really interesting at the beginning was that when you first started collecting, your mum and dad were okay with you having a doll, but they wanted you to have a male doll. And you're not the first person to say that. I think my last interview actually, they said the same. They had Fred and Shaggy from Scooby Doo, but they wasn't allowed Daphne and Velma, which
Until later on.
again, yeah, until later on, I find that interesting, but I guess I like the compromise.
There
But
are
I
some
know
things, and I loved it.
yeah, I like the compromise, but I know deep down what we would really prefer out of that collection. So yeah, no, I totally get that. So okay, Anthony, so next question is what is your favorite doll? And if funds were unlimited, what doll would you have to have in your collection, absolutely now?
Okay, so in terms of favorite, this one is more sentimental. So it's kind of like two answers for that question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But for sentimental reasons, I'm forgetting the year of it. This is from the Disney Designer Collection
Oh,
from the
nice.
Midnight Masquerade series,
Yes,
which
I do.
is Ease. Wow, this is
Is
so
it
heavy.
Yzma?
Yzma, there we go.
Oh, yes. I skipped these ones actually. I like her though, but I guess for me, I'm not a lover of the film, so I think that was why I didn't go for her, I think. But I do appreciate that collection.
No, I appreciate this doll in general just because it was my partner who was waiting
Oh,
in
okay.
line in the queue online when it first came out.
Yeah,
Because I've been telling him these dolls sell out quick,
so
literally on the
fast.
first day, first hour. And
Yeah.
he knew that this character, Yzma,
Hmm.
from the movie, since it's loosely based off Peru, which is where my family is from. So
Right, okay.
I'm Peruvian. So he wanted like a character of a doll since
Yeah.
Yzma really never really had dolls before, at least from
No.
mine. So he wanted me to have one to kind of like represent Peru and also the movie. So I loved it. Not me trying to cry, but like really sentimental.
Yeah,
Um,
it is lovely when our friends and family, go out of their way, and we know as doll collectors how hard it is to get these dolls sometimes, because especially, well, it's probably not just Disney. I mean, I know Disney because I'm into Disney, but I imagine it's the same for other brands. I've seen them once the high dolls fly off the shelf, so I think we're all in the same boat. But it feels so rewarding when you do manage to get one, because if you don't, it's to eBay if you're desperate, to get that doll. So I'm happy that you got the one you wanted.
the one from my favorite. But in terms of unlimited funds,
Yeah.
what I love, I do have three with me. I would love literally every single dog that was ever created.
Yeah.
Um, this is from like my childhood growing up through like middle school, my preteen phase, which is like Hannah Montana dolls.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember
Like
those.
growing up, I love the music, the series, the concerts, literally all of it. Even still today, as a 30-year
Yeah.
old,
Yeah.
just to have like a few of the dolls through like flea markets. pawn shops even. I would just love to have like every single doll ever made, just from that memory lane from it,
Yeah.
and also because the dolls are just cute.
So, I mean, it's a bit of nostalgia for you, but also, you do love the character, you love the show, you love the music, and
Oh,
of course, the dolls. Obviously, we love the dolls more than anything. And I've noticed as well, those particular ones you've got boxed. So, is that a reason for that, or?
honestly, I am one that I need to rip it out from the box. If not, I'll buy doubles so I
Okay.
could like hold one. And
Yeah.
I mean, like I have a double of a couple things.
Hmm.
But I'm still like debating sometimes in terms of like, should
Should
I
I or
like
shouldn't I?
beautiful in the box, but I do want to
Yeah.
like hold her and like play with her
Yeah.
hair up. So it kind of is like 50-50 sometimes. These in particular, I just haven't had the time since of work and
Yeah.
family, like with timing. But eventually, one day, I will probably for sure.
I get that as well. I mean, I deboxed old vintage Tyco Ariel the other day because of the fact I have nowhere to put it, and I was just sick of putting this box everywhere in the room. And I just thought, do you know what? I'm just going to open it, and I do believe sometimes if I open it, I'm generally going to keep that doll. I'm not going to get rid of it.
Of course.
I have, and I get this as well, what you say with duplicates are like, anyone else who doesn't understand would think we're all crazy for buying two dolls exactly the same. And I don't know what it is, but I'm the same. So I've got a couple duplicates, so mainly my Spice Girls dolls, because I love the box art. And obviously
Gorgeous.
it's screaming Spice Girls. And they look so awesome, and I just love those boxes. So I had to have those ones out and in. But other than that, I've done quite well. I had to take out all my Disney designers from their boxes, which was a big decision to make. But yeah, I've done it in the end. The only ones I've kept in their boxes are the limited editions because of the
Well, limited
value.
edition. Yeah.
Yeah, the limited edition, the value, and like one day I'm hoping they're going to be like my retirement fund. Obviously, we don't do it for that reason, but it
First,
is there, and if I
just in
debox
case.
them, sorry,
Just in case.
just in case, I just think sometimes you got to have a backup. And I love the dolls, and I would love to more than anything take them out, but it is one of those situations. Okay, so Anthony, what is your experience with friends and family with your doll collecting?
With friends, I mean, when I was a child, it was pretty much okay. I wasn't given so much support, especially from my family, until later on I understood why. But
Yeah.
in terms of like relatives, friends, like the parents mainly, because friends and anybody like close to my age that had dolls didn't mind at all or never
Okay.
questioned me
Yeah.
because they were either an only child, if not no one else wanted to play with them. But I
Yeah.
wanted to mainly because you had a cool Barbie. um, and then like, I mean, growing up now, everybody basically knows that I collect dolls. If not, I have an interest. I mean, you can just see from like my phone case
Yeah.
that it's Barbie coded. So it's
Yeah.
like you can ask me a question like my coworkers do. If not, a new friend that I meet and they notice like things like that that they would
Yeah.
ask me about. And I mean, from my friends, they all collect anything like Magna, comic books, action figures. So it's kind of like a common thing in terms of collecting, and they
Yeah.
just find it interesting and cool.
Yeah. So what about your immediate family, so your mum and dad? What do they think?
So when I was a kid, they were not fully against it in terms of anger. They were
Hmm.
against it in terms of confusion
Right.
because they didn't want to confuse me as a young boy. Like, am I a girl? Am I like I'm a boy, so I should be playing with like Hot Wheels or like something in terms of blue, in terms of that gender aisle in a toy aisle. They
Hmm.
didn't want to like mess with my head, even though I was already like this. Like I'm going towards that aisle. I'm going
Yeah.
to a house that mainly has dolls.
Mm.
So it was put out there, and they knew it ever since I was a small kid. And growing up now, like they fully understood it. Like they knew eventually I would buy a doll.
Yeah.
They didn't knew that I was gonna do it that quick, because literally from my first check at my job when I started out after graduating high school and moving out, I just bought a bunch of dolls, and
Hmm.
they knew about it. They saw it, and they even see all this here. I literally had my mom come in to the room and like look at it before I started this.
Yeah.
Just dolls and like interesting, and it's like that's a part of you that
Yeah.
we're slowly but surely like we understand it. We don't get it, but we
Mhm.
understand because it's you.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, and it's nice. I thought to do this show because I want it, and like no one's done it, and I wanted to get to know everyone from around the globe. Other boys that collect dolls, because it's so difficult. About the internet, I don't think any of us would think there was anybody who collects dolls. And it is nice to know that you've got family and friends supporting you, and like you said, your mum's come in, she loves having a good look and seeing what you've got, because they're deep down there, they are interested, because they want to, it's different, and I think that's what makes us as doll collectors unique. We're a little bit quirky. So no, that's brilliant. I'm glad. And like you said, you had a partner, did you say that?
Yes, his name is Hector. I told him, I think after a month of dating and 8 years now, he's been fully supporting of me collecting and
That's
using
awesome.
dolls for like videos,
Yeah.
pictures. I mean, he's a book collector himself, so he loves
Yeah.
to collect book series, books in general. So it's like I help you out and you help
Yeah,
me. Yeah.
exactly. So you can work, and then you can blame each other for having no money.
Honestly, every time he goes to Target, he'll send me pictures of Barbies like, hey, this one's cute. Do you have this one? Hey, this
Right.
one's on sale. Do you like this one? And I'm like taking pictures of his
That's
book
nice.
series. Like, he's missing one or two, so let me go ahead and find it if I can.
Yeah, that's
Like,
really nice. That's really nice. That's lovely. My husband would never go to the doll aisle and be like, which one doesn't he have? No, my husband would think he's got enough. There's not a hope in hell. I'm going to the doll aisle. But no, he is quite good. And now and again for Christmas and birthdays. But it's usually because I've asked for one, because he just wouldn't have a clue.
no, I mean the same for my partner. He would always send me and show me dolls, and it's like, you got me that one a month ago, or I bought it myself a year ago. So
Yeah,
he doesn't know the all like the knowledge of it, but he sees
no,
a pretty doll that he thinks it's pretty, and it's like,
yeah.
would you like this one? And it's like, I already have it.
Yeah, I already have it, which is generally, and I think sometimes as doll collectors, people tend to not buy us dolls because of that reason. They don't know, what we've got and if we've got it, and that can be a bit of an issue for when we want presents. you know. So for my next question, Anthony, was you bullied ever for collecting dolls by anyone? And if you was, can you share with us like your most worst experience that you can remember?
In terms of bullying, I would, I mean, going back by memory, I would think I would be bullied by like the adults or parents of the kids that I was playing with, because they
Hmm.
would see me play with them and like maybe question, why is a boy playing with dolls? There was never a child that was like my age or anybody like in my age
Hmm.
now that
Hmm.
looks at it, like questions it or like comments on it negatively. But I would think maybe an adult would at that time, if not now. Um,
Yeah.
but honestly, no, it was mainly coming from my mom and dad.
Right. Right.
Wouldn't label it as bullying. It was more like protection,
Yeah.
because I turned, I think 17 or 18. Before I started like this whole collection, I had a few dolls, and I was dressing at that time a bit more feminine because I wanted to dress in pink and like jewelry and all
Yeah.
that stuff. There was a huge argument specifically with my father, who literally was like bagging things up in trash bags and was like fully against it. Literally, cops were called with that situation
Hmm.
because it escalated so much that I didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
But after all that, he told me his reasons as to why, and it was for protection, because where he's from in Peru, if you're like a gay man or a feminine
Mhm.
man or loves anything like dolls, like for girls,
Mhm.
you would get harassed, even killed, for doing such things like that.
Oh my
And
God.
he
Yeah.
thought that that would happen to me.
Mm.
And at that time, there wasn't much representation in terms of men that collect the dolls, but I did show him a
Mm.
few videos on YouTube in terms of like adults in general and
Yeah.
like people my own age and guys that would collect dolls and like, play with them, restyle
Mhm.
them, do anything with them, like in that way. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get my emotions.
No,
Um,
that's okay.
Explain to him like this isn't a bad thing, and if anybody ever dares to like bully me, best believe I'm gonna shut that down real quick because that's not happening. Because
Yeah.
me, with this love for and passion for doll collecting and dolls in general, I personally don't see that as a bad thing. Like in
No.
terms of other things that's worse out there in the world, that
Mhm. Yeah.
I it's just a love for I have. So at that point they understand it, and today they do.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Totally understand the emotion side. It is, we are quite sensitive about our hobby, and it's probably taken a lot of us male doll collectors to get this far, and in a way, like, come out and talk about it openly. Rather than feeling I need to hide these, or I'm feeling a little bit embarrassed by it, so it is like another thing with my interviews. It is quite, it's fun, but it is also quite sensitive as well, so I'm always aware, but I do ask these questions because of the fact it's important, for the awareness of boys do struggle a bit more than girls, and I always get, do you not support girls? I'm like, well, that's a given, Of course I do, but it's not it's not a problem as much, Yeah, it might be a little bit, but not as much as boys, And like I said, I'm always supporting anyone for doing anything fun that they like to do, as long as they're not hurting anyone, And especially the boys with dolls, and it is a sensitive subject. So, thank you so much for sharing that with us as well. So I really appreciate that. Okay.
Of course. I mean, especially like you said, it's sensitive. For me, this is a part of my life, now, ever since growing up, that I don't keep private in terms of like preventing bullying or things like that. I
Yeah.
mean, you see like on social media, it's a separate page for my
Mm.
dog collection on Celebutons versus my own personal page.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that not everybody, in terms of friends and family that follows me or like friends with me on social media, they would get it, which is why I
Yeah.
separate them. Plus, with new people that I meet, I would hint them out again, like with the phone case or an accessory that I would wear that's labeled Barbie, Bratz, Monster High,
Yeah.
etc. So give them like a note, but I'm not gonna fully come out with it just because it's just something personal. I would like to get to
Mm.
know you, and I would
Yeah.
like that time, but I would need to share it.
Yeah, share it when you're ready to share it. Yeah, definitely. And I can understand that. I did the same. I had my dolls and my other life, I guess, my usual life separate, and I did have my dolls, and I was getting a bit annoyed with myself because I was like posting here separately and then I'm posting on there separately, and I thought, oh, do you know what, I'm just going to combine everything, and I'm not going to worry about what people think anymore, because it really is me. It is who I am. What I'm posting is generally me, whether it's music, whether it's daytimes, whatever, holidays, dolls, is all part of me, and I just think, embrace it, and like you said, when you're ready, you can do what you like. It's your pages, it's your area to express yourself, and everyone's going to do it whenever they want in their own time, so yeah, no, keep doing that, keep being positive. Okay, so we're gonna make this a bit more exciting now, okay, with this next question. So this might be interesting, but looking at your collection, they're very Barbie, Disney, Bratz, Monster High. So you might struggle with this question, but you might not. You might have something ready to show me. So, what's your most strangest thing in your collection?
Okay, strangest thing. It would be like two answers. Strange
Okay.
and weird. I don't have the strange one with me, unfortunately. I believe she was released back in 20, what was it, 2018, 2019. Please correct me in the comments.
Yeah.
um, it's called a Hello Barbie.
Okay.
She would connect to the internet, the Wi-Fi, and you can basically have a whole conversation with her.
Ah.
Um, they were recalled because I guess some hacker hacked into the
Heck.
conversations of children. So
Oh no.
literally after a month, I believe she was off the shelves. Everybody returned her.
Yeah.
This is totally violations, all that.
Yeah.
I was able to get her back in 2020 during the pandemic. I think I found it for like $15 off like a reseller website, fully in the box and everything.
Right.
And, she doesn't work, obviously, since they shut down the whole site for it.
Yeah, of
But
course.
to
Yeah.
have her like part of it, like this is part of history, like
Yeah.
CNN and Fox News, everybody was talking about this controversial doll that would, violate children's conversations with the doll. And I
Yeah.
just find it so fascinating and strange, like who would ever do that and like why and all this. So just to have her, like, I love her, but unfortunately I don't have her with me.
No.
In terms of weird, this line didn't really live long in the US. But I was
Okay.
able to find the main four of the series, which is called Novi Stars.
Oh yes. I remember the little alien dolls, aren't they?
Little bitty aliens, but so cute, amazingly well done. I didn't realize they were this small when I started collecting them,
Right.
and I still have them in package just because I didn't get a chance to really
Unbox
unbox
them.
them, and I wanted to collect the full collection, which I do in terms of the series from the main line of dolls. But again, just with timing and also because they are really rare. But when I got them, they were sold maybe $10, $20. I
Right.
guess they wanted to get rid of them because nobody wanted it. But I just find these, to me, weird because
Yeah.
alien dolls, I guess, don't really sell to the masses. But
No.
again, to me, it's just part of like overall doll history in
Yeah.
terms of new brand, a new collection that didn't do well, sadly. But for me, it's just beautiful to look at and to one day like to hold them and to just have them as part of my own collection. So
Yeah.
that,
No, that was actually a really good one, actually. I thought that was definitely different. No one has shown us the Nova Stars yet, so that's fantastic. So, Anthony, so this question is, I like this question because there's always an answer to it, okay, for doll collectors. And that one is, which doll do you want next?
honestly, anything and everything. In terms of like collecting now, and like getting like a full line of the brand in general, I mainly collect Rainbow High dolls.
Okay.
Only have one with me. Literally every single doll that I have is in storage since it's a huge box. I wasn't able to fully fill it in my car. But I haven't been collecting consistently, I guess, as a quote unquote doll collector. Like when a doll is released yesterday, I would have it today.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
because priorities got in the way with things. And also, it's not that I'm losing my sense of collecting, it's just that I know eventually now that it would be discounted later, if not on sale later.
Mm,
And so I don't, I guess, feel the need in terms of a rush anymore. Back then when
okay.
I started, of course I did, because I never
Yeah.
had it before and I think it's cool and amazing and beautiful. But in like years now, like I fully understand in terms of dolls. I know they'll last a couple months on the shelf.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'll be able to get them then at a lower price. If not, when I'm ready, I would get them when I can.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, but to narrow it down, I would love to, of course, have like Barbie, the movie dolls. I have a
Okay.
couple of them, but not the full line and series. But that would be like an answer, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few of those to collect at the minute. So some, like you said, sometimes it's just best to focus on one line, put money aside, and sort our priorities out,
Just to
sort of
like be an
thing.
adult, you know.
It is hard, and I totally understand. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's great. Okay, Anthony. So we have come to the end of the interview, but the main question is, do you have anything else that you'd like to add? You know, for boys or men collecting dolls, or only now starting out collecting?
I would say trying to keep it PG, but mainly F everyone, because I feel like the reason why a lot of people don't collect is for judgment, is for shyness,
Yeah.
is for critiques, things like that from their peers, their family, friends. Which is why it took me a while. I'm sure I could have started collecting when I was a teenager, when I started working at 16. But I waited until I left my parents' home, got my own place, my own job, and it's like then I got it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but when all of that, when that mindset is gone, you can obviously, with caution,
Mm-hmm.
be free to collect what you want to collect in terms of dolls and to get that enjoyment. Because
Yeah.
again, I feel like that is mainly why we all do this. Like it
Mm-hmm.
brings us joy one way or another in terms of
Yeah.
collecting any doll or any series, just to have in our life and to be a part of it. Because it is, for me, it's a part of me. So I love having a part of me with me displayed, if
Mm-hmm.
not just with me, like in general. So just
Yeah.
to be with it with yourself and to fully accept it and just go through it and mainly just F everyone. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
Just with it.
exactly. Be yourself, enjoy what you love. You know, I think that's a fantastic way to wrap up this interview. So thank you so much, Anthony, for coming on and doing this interview. And yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate you chatting with us today.
Thank you, Dwayne. And thank you so much for doing this series. I've seen the other interviews that you've done before. I love how much like it even it's got to me to see to actually see the other person and to hear the conversations that you have with them.
Yeah,
To know that we're not alone.
yeah,
I felt like that because I don't really have anybody with me that collects
hmm
the way I do, if not collect in general of
yeah,
dolls. So to see that through YouTube, through social, anything like that, it really does mean a lot to me and to other people and a lot of people as well. So thank you so much for that as well.